Yes, well, I'm so excited that Brandy's going to be joining us on the stage because I have actually met her on other platforms too, and she is incredible. She's a tech automation and efficiency expert, as well as gamified business architect. And I hope she gets into that a little bit because that was fascinating to me the time before that I had heard from her. And she's also served in the Air Force. So thank you very much for your service, Brandy. We do appreciate that. She's going to be talking on your the visionary, not the VA. And I love that because I have fallen into that role so many times. The VA, I mean. Her favorite movie is The Princess Bride. And if you haven't seen that, you really need to see that one because it's a great movie about women. And her music is Metal by Alice in Chains. She is going to give everyone a chapter of the book called You're the Visionary, Not the VA. And for one really, really lucky person, she's going to give you a business efficiency audit, which is a 60-minute deep dive and is valued at $500. So Brandy, please come to the stage and everybody welcome her because I think you'll love what she has to say.
Oh, thank you so much for having me today. All right, can you hear me okay? All right. If you needed brain surgery, would you go on YouTube and try to learn brain surgery and then try to operate on your own brain? Scalpel and the whole works? No. You'd go to the top expert in your area or maybe even the world. So why are you operating on the brain of your business? Tech is the business's central nervous system. It is how you grow and scale and deliver to your clients. It's what makes you money while you sleep or just take a shower without your business catching on fire, right? I'm Brandi. I'm the one that you call when you want this to just be done for you. So I'm a disabled combat veteran and I have an autistic brain. I think like a computer. Probably better than people. Like I struggle to think like people. I mostly think like a computer. And I just love this stuff. I'm such a nerd. I literally snuggle with my phone at night so that I can't drop it in my sleep. I've been programming computers since the 80s and building websites since the 90s. I've run coax cable through minefields in Bosnia, and I've managed global ops for Comcast and AT&T, and now I help small businesses. All right, so you know how you end up panicking in the middle of the night? You're supposed to get the funnel up and running, and it's like 2 a.m. and you're like crying into your keyboard. Now you don't have to do that anymore. I know tech makes people twitchy. It's intimidating, it's overwhelming, and it's always breaking at the wrong time. The worst possible times, in fact. And that's why you need a system that runs for you, that is automated and it does all of that work for you so that you don't have to worry about it anymore. So I want to teach you a little bit today about how profitable businesses, they outsource. And outsourcing is something that's really not talked about in our industry. And so that's how all of the big businesses made it happen. And I know you didn't start this company because you wanted to like learn automation and funnels and taxes and websites and all of it, right? You started this business because you want to do what you love doing and to help the people you want to help. And now you're knee deep in tech and tangled in email platforms you can't even pronounce and paying for 5 different softwares, none of which talk to each other. And you still can't figure out how to get Zoom to work right. And I always want to say, you know how it takes 10,000 hours to master any skill? Well, I mean, if you only have an hour a week to work on that, it'll only take you 192 years to learn it and to get your stuff working correctly. And just so you know, that's when the real Oregon Trail was, not the 1980s game, you know? So maybe it's time to stop trying to be your own tech department and start leading your business and doing what you do. and helping the people that you help. Because you know, right now, I know several of you in the chat, right now, you know your tech stack is probably a disaster. You've got like DocuSign and Acuity and Constant Contract and less annoying CRM because it, well, sounded less annoying. And at this point, you're not running a business, you're running a tech startup out of your house. So I always tell people, you don't need to know how to fix your email. You don't need to know what a CRM is. You don't need to figure anything out. All you need to do is trust a team of experts to do it for you. And so one of the first ways to get started in doing this is you automate, well, first consolidate all of your stuff into one central software and platform with a team that's going to run it for you. And then that team will automate all of the stuff that you need done. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, I need a squeeze page and a boomerang sequence and all of this random stuff that people have names for. All you need to know is this is what I want to happen. I want to have a quiz, and after the quiz they get led into booking a call with me so that I can talk to them about their results of their quiz. And you just tell, you know, the person that is running the team what you want, and then they just make it happen like a magic wand. And you can remember that you're the visionary, not the VA. You don't have to do all of that busy work anymore. You can offload it to a team of people and have them automate and delegate and you know, do all of that stuff for you. Because this is how real businesses work. And I know in the industry, we are taught that like we need to have this hustle culture and we need to like do it all ourselves, and you know, entrepreneurs, we have to do it all and wear all the hats. And there's not a single big business out there that ever did that. Not a single one. It's a myth, and it's something that we have believed our whole, you know, time in this industry. And you don't have to believe it anymore, because now I can show you the better way. So business process outsourcing is like the official name for it. But this is how you save yourself from the burnout, like somebody just mentioned. But also, this makes you money, because if you have your computer system, your system that's running your business working correctly, and your CRM is working efficiently, your conversion rate will boost by over 300%. And that is a study that was done, which, and I always say, that's not even a typo. That's a mortgage. That's a vacation fund. That's an RV, you know, all of it's wrapped up in tech that you don't want to touch anyway. You don't want to do that stuff anyway. So you know what? Don't do it. Outsource it. I love Doctor Who. I talk about Doctor Who a lot. We talk about how in Doctor Who, there's like sonic screwdriver. You don't have to know any details. Just know that a sonic screwdriver is like a tool, and automation is a tool that you would use to fix broken tech and to to kind of save your business. It can handle all of that repetitive stuff that you don't want to do anyway. All of this onboarding and invoicing and oh my gosh, how do I get the client to do this and this and this next, right? And then delegate to like a team that's like your companions, because you should have a team just like all the big guys do. Because it's one of those things where, you know, how you're doing everything and none of it's being done well. Well, with outsourcing, you can actually have an entire team of experts for less than the cost of one VA. So that's where people always think that it's going to be way too expensive, and it never is. But one of the most important parts is systematizing and creating processes, creating standard operating procedures that will help you delegate this effectively over and over and over again, so that you never have to teach more than one person, because you know how you always say, well, people always say, oh, it's so much easier if I just do it myself. I don't have time to teach it to somebody. Well, that's where we have kind of already templated processes that are pretty standard in the industry, and we can give you a leg up so that you can just tell us what little tweaks that you want to make in your process, and we can get all that set up for you. Because together, automation, delegation, and processes will turn chaos into clarity. It's going to help you to actually stop the burnout and just make the money. And I tell my clients all the time, just tell me what your dream day in the life of your business looks like, because that's what I want to make happen for you. Um, and, like I said, people always say it's going to, be too expensive and they can't afford it. Well, just say for the sake of numbers that you charge $100 an hour, which all of us charge more than that, but for the numbers in our head, we're going to use that. If you spend 3 hours on YouTube trying to learn CRMs, and you're like, how do I learn CRMs for beginners who hate CRMs? Well, you just wasted $300 and you still don't know CRMs and your stuff's still not fixed. So if you just outsource that, then you get all of the benefit of having the CRM correctly set up and automated and doing things you never even dreamed it could do. Um, and it could be as cheap as $10 an hour. And it's like so much better. um, and so your genius isn't hiding in your inbox. It's on stage. It's in your story. We've heard a lot about that today. So when you're drowning in your tech, instead of being out there speaking and selling and connecting, you're losing money and momentum and impact. Everything that we want to bring to this world, we can't, because we're so busy doing something and wearing a hat that we shouldn't be wearing. And that's not your dream. Your dream is to do what you want to do and to help the people you want to help. So stop losing time and money and brain cells and hair, and start outsourcing. Um, and I want to talk for a minute about the gamification, because not only do you want to outsource all this stuff, but that will give you the free time to be able to turn your business into a game that your clients will love to play. And imagine for a moment that your clients are thrilled and excited and happy. And instead of, starting off strong and then fizzling after a month or two, like a New Year's resolution, they will stay engaged and actually finish your programs and your services and get the results that they're paying you to get. And so that's one of the things that I have the most fun doing with my clients. So I always say, if you're stuck and your days are just knee deep in tech chaos, instead of being in your zone of genius and you're starting to lose your joy, then just realize that you're not bad at tech. You were not supposed to be good at tech. You're not supposed to be a tech genius. Well, because then what would you pay me for? But it's not your job. It's your zone of genius is what you do. And I can tell you, I suck at whatever it is you do. Because that's not my genius. My genius is in spreadsheets and automations, and I'm such a nerd. But this is what I love. And I always used to think that I was not creative, until somebody pointed out that I make amazing spreadsheets that run corporations, and I make automations that replace, it took 5 people to replace me at my last job, because I had automated the entire job. And so I'm like, let me bring the snark, the spreadsheets, and the slightly obsessive love for automations, and you be the sun, and we're just going to be there supporting you. I like to say, let me be the nerd in the background so you can be the star on stage, and I'll fix your funnels so that you can ignite your fire. And my team will automate your follow-up so that you can just follow your passions. And while you're out there changing lives, remember, I've got you. I have brought an exciting freebie. So everybody was saying earlier, I am giving the chapter to my book, You're the Visionary, Not the VA. So I am putting that in the chats. And then the business audit that we were talking about earlier, that is going to be so much fun because it's not just a boring business audit like it sounds. We're going to go through and we're going to find the joy in your business and get you back to that. And like take away all of the stuff that's draining you from that joy and help you kind of figure out where your energy needs to go. And I talk about how I do spoon theory of rationing energy. And so I want you to spend all of your energy doing and stuff that brings light to your life and brings you joy and happiness, whether it's, quality time with your clients or your family or yourself. And so stop wasting your precious energy and time doing things that anybody else can do besides you. So I will.
Thank you so much, Brandi. As always, I mean, you just make me want to just hand over everything because you are the genius behind and the light behind what I can offer for my light. So thank you so much for everything you shared. It was like drinking from a fire hose. So I'm sure your chapter will help us significantly. And before I ask the question for one person to get the big offer that you're giving, I want to hand it over to Deb.
Oh, well, I just adore Brandi, and I appreciate, these are areas that are important because of the psychology of how we play that. I mean, okay, I'm going to go back some dates, and I remember reading Mary Kay's first book, and she was talking to women, predominantly were in her company, and she was talking them into allowing to have someone clean their house, like that was okay. And I think what it is sometimes we need to give ourselves permission. And I don't think it's that we mean to be super people or that we do try to do it all. I think the money factor comes in. I think that we sometimes are afraid to put the cart before the horse. You're talking to someone that's done that many times and we're still standing. But I don't even think it's that we don't want to have help. I don't think it's that. I just think that there's some kind of psychology thing around doing it ourselves. And I also don't think that we're martyrs either, that we want to be burnt out or something. There's just been a disconnect in terms of first understanding business, second, making enough resources or educational decisions in our businesses to be able to ask questions about, well, can you just take this much? Or do you have to take this much? Or these are the kind of people that I ask, what are the questions that I'm not asking you? And having that conversation that can give you at least data points that if you're not ready now, as you start to grow, you realize that there's maybe another way if you start to get a little bottlenecked. So I think this information is critical. I think it's important. I think as we all start to add more to what it is that we're doing, that this kind of information becomes a critical piece of your business plan, at least long term, and short term relief, long term agenda. So I really appreciate Brandi and all of her knowledge and what she brings to the table, because it is, like Carol said earlier, it's all in service. Like what we're doing is all in service, right? So I think it's the permission to allow yourself to have help, whatever your psychology is. We all have some. Carol might call it trauma, call it psychology. But yeah, it's okay to get help.
All right. Well, then the question I have is, in the early part of her presentation, Brandi said something that stuck with me because it's exactly how it makes me feel. And she says that tech makes people feel blank.
Ooh, that's a good one. Awesome. Let's do some love. Let's do some jazz hands. Let's do some hearts. Let's do some all good things. Thank you, everyone.